Now, one of the most psychotically out of nowhere popular things to hit streaming is every once in a while you get these Squid Game, that kind of came out of nowhere. Nobody expected that. But another one that was and continues to be one of the most popular things ever to hit Netflix is the Tim Burton Wednesday series, which people have fallen in love with. Like everybody, did you see even the one competitive figure skater did the Wednesday dance?
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
You saw that? Which is like, I mean, it's crazy how that's going. So pure bona fide hit for Netflix. They're moving ahead. Well, wait a minute. There hasn't been any announcement for season 2. Why is there not being an announcement for season 2? Well, because according to a report in Forbes, it could be. That's an interesting screen.
Yeah.
Could be that they're going to be doing a move and maybe going over to Amazon. Now, what Netflix or what Forbes basically lays out is, here's the thing. You'd be wondering, why hasn't a season 2 already been greenlit? Why hasn't a season 2 been announced? Well, one of the things that Forbes points out is the fact that Netflix does not produce the Wednesday series. Wednesday is produced by MGM, which if you've been following the John Campea Show for any period of time now, you know that MGM recently got bought up by a certain little company, a little mom and pop operation called Amazon. And Amazon made it known right away that not all the content we produce with MGM is going to go to Amazon. We're also going to shop it out and make revenue that way too. And one of those shows went over to Netflix. So now they have a situation where Forbes is wondering if the insane success of the first season has made Amazon play a little bit of hardball with Netflix and take one of two approaches. Either approach number one, you know what? We're just going to take it back. We're going to take it back now that, thank you, Netflix, for making our show so popular. We're now going to take it on back and put it on Amazon Prime. Thank you very much. That's one option Forbes suggests. The other suggestion that Forbes puts forward is that they may now play hardball with Netflix and say, hey, great, licensing deal just went up, bud. Now, this is all predicated on the question about whether or not Netflix had a multi-season deal or whether they were playing it, a month-by-month rental situation, like a year-by-year rental situation. And that is the answer to that is something that Forbes does not have. But it becomes extremely interesting here, Rob, with a show that was an absolute massive global smash hit for Netflix, sat at the top of their number one trending things for longer than almost anything else they've ever had. And now Forbes is talking about the fact that Amazon could very well take them back. Now, Forbes also suggests, Rob, that they think the way this does end up is that there will be a season 2 on Netflix, with Netflix having to pay Amazon a much bigger chunk of change. But the possibility still exists. We could see a Wednesday on Amazon. Anyway, you read about this. What's your takeaway from it?
Well, it's hard for me to believe that they didn't sign a potential deal for multiple seasons, because, they did make the series. It's different if they're just going to make a pilot, but even pilots, Aaron could probably speak to this, but if you make a show, a series, especially a streaming series, especially a Netflix streaming series, the idea is that it's at least going to run for 3 seasons. That would be the hope. So there's got to be some kind of, I would imagine, built in to the deals, the potential to do that. They can always cancel the show as well, but it would be silly to make a show, especially based on a previously existing IP, and not make deals for the 3 years.
Well, let me ask you this question. Let's go back 6 months, and you and I are sitting down, and I posed to you the question. I think we all agree that if a network is going to pick up a show, they're going to probably have a minimum of a 3-year thing. But if I were to say to you, Rob, if there was one network, if there was one company, because of their history and their track record, that you could see not signing a deal like that, would we not have said Netflix is the one that probably wouldn't?
Yeah, their stock price and the position that Netflix has been in,
and their history of canceling shows early,
the falling fortunes of Netflix. Sure. However, this did have Tim Burton. It is an IP that they got behind. I think the premise, the show's delightful, and I think with the creative talent, there's a reason they greenlit it in the first place. But then again, John, there's so much wacky stuff going on in the industry right now. Maybe they didn't.
And I'll be honest with you.
Sucks to be them if that's the case.
Wednesday may have been based on a pre-existing IP. I don't remember hearing anybody saying it was going to be a massive hit. There were a number of people thinking it would be good, but I don't know anybody thought it was going to be a big hit.
Everyone was dubious about it. I mean, we liked it. Here we were saying, it looks good. But I have to tell you, I watched it all. I loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I even recognized some of the dance moves she stole from Susie Sue for her dance. And she even
love Susie Sue reference. Wow.
Hey, that wasn't me. That was the stalwart. She talked about how she didn't work with the choreographer, that she had to design the dance herself. So she looked at all of these goth singers, and she
brilliant
announced Susie Sue as one of her primary chief influences.
Love it.
I'm telling you.
And I think ultimately here, I mean, I agree. I think ultimately Wednesday stays at Netflix. I don't think Netflix can afford to let this thing. It would be a very bad look on Netflix for them to let it go. It might end up costing a little bit more. Anyway, Aaron, you've been involved with a lot of pilots, a lot of, you've been in a number of shows that did one season and stuff like that. You read this story. Do you see how this could play out? Do you have a thought about how this could play out?
Well, I mean, for a show to leave its home network and go to another network is totally not uncommon. I mean, we've all seen it, whether it was, Lucifer. I'll just talk about a couple of shows that I was on. Lucifer was originally on Fox, and then it moved over to Netflix. Netflix acquired it and had great success because they were already having success from airing the reruns of the show, or the new seasons. Yeah. All Rise went from ABC over to Oprah's own network. You have Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Arrested Development. A lot of shows will have success in one network, and then at a certain point, that network, I kind of feel, it seems like they run its course with their core audience, but then another network goes, well, wait a minute, our audience loves that. Nashville is a great example. It was on, I think NBC or something, and then it ran its course with NBC, but then CMT, the country music station, they were like, this is our target audience's show. So they picked up the show. The difference there is that normally that's when a show is waning or a show gets canceled on one network and then gets immediately picked up by another network. This is a rare occurrence where a show is at the height of its popularity, and all of a sudden there's now an opportunity for another network to acquire it, which is so rare, and only in a situation like this where you have this deal that was kind of being done in the midst of this show being developed. Another thing that might come as a surprise to people is being like, well, wait a minute, this isn't but this was on Netflix, so why isn't this a Netflix show? It's completely uncommon. Every time that I audition for anything, anytime that an actor auditions for anything, the director and the producers choose them, but you also have to get network and studio approval, meaning that an actor may get approval from the network, CBS, but the studio that's producing that show, maybe Sony, says, no, we don't really like that actor. We've worked with them before, and we don't like them. And so then the studio might not approve you. So there's always a lot more players in the game. This, with Amazon now being in a position to acquire a show that already is a massive hit. I mean, honestly, if I wanted to be a Richard and I worked at Amazon, I would absolutely take this show and be like, buy Netflix, because that's their primary competition. However, if I'm Netflix, I am backing up the money dump truck and saying whatever we need to do to keep this. And you guys are right on the money saying nobody knew what a hit this was going to be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nobody knew, and there was no way to know. And so hindsight is always 20/20 in this game, but I don't blame them for not securing a long-term deal. And I also don't blame them for putting all the cash they have into securing this.
All right, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this? Did you watch Wednesday? Were you a fan of the show? Even if you didn't, what do you think about the possibility of maybe it's staying on Netflix, which I think is the most likely scenario here, but the specter that maybe Amazon could pull it back? I don't know. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Guys, we want to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. This holiday season, the best deal in wireless can only be found at Mint Mobile. Right now, when you switch to Mint Mobile and buy any 3-month plan, you get another 3 months for free. Mint Mobile lets you order and activate from home with eSIM, while saving tons on phone plans starting at just $15 a month. You guys know I've been using Mint Mobile long before this holiday deal, and I have to say it is the perfect time to switch. I have absolutely loved using Mint Mobile, and like I've told you guys many times, I am now spending less than 1/3 of what I used to spend under one of the other major mobile carriers. And now with the whole buy 3 months, get 3 months free deal, it's even better. All of their plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and switch easily and effortlessly with eSIM. Or if you need a new device, for a limited time, get 6 months of free service when you buy a select device and plan. So guys, for a limited time, buy any 3-month Mint Mobile plan and get 3 more months for free by going to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea.